It is International Day of Veterinary Medicine. This annual observance recognizes the hard-working professionals who promote and protect animals and human welfare worldwide. One such profession is the person of our next guest, Dr. Tracy Challenger. Dr. Challenger is currently the Agricultural Development Advisor at the Department of Agriculture here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we are delighted to engage with her on this occasion. A pleasant good morning, Dr. Challenger. Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you. Good morning.
Our pleasure having you. Right off the bat, where did your love for veterinary medicine? Where did it come from, I should say?
As a child, I grew up around animals.
Okay.
So I had sheep and pigs. And every morning, we had to take the sheep out. And then after school, we had to go and get them and bring them back in the yard. So that's where it began.
Okay.
I would think that having to do that, you could have easily been a farmer and not a veterinarian.
Well, I had to play a important role in actually keeping the animals healthy. So I like that aspect of it. When the animals got a cut, I would be the one that would clean it and so forth. So.
I see where that love.
So that's
right
where it
from.
went.
Yes.
Towards the health
Aspect of
section,
the animal.
aspect of it.
Nice.
How old were you at the time you were doing this?
Well, I can tell you at the age of 10, I knew that I wanted to be a vet. Right? So I was doing this even before that. All in primary school. Yes, I was doing that.
So you were very focused.
I know, stuck
Yes,
to it.
I've always been a focused person.
Nice.
Always.
So any pets growing up other than the sheep that you had to?
I had pets.
Okay.
I had 3 dogs, and I loved them very much. And you know, when they died, the first one was very traumatizing, and then the other 2, after the other 2, I decided, you know, it's too much pain when you attach yourself to an animal, and the animals love you back so much more.
Yeah, I know.
Understand? And so currently I do not have any pets. And pets takes dedication, you know, with my profession and so forth. I just decided not to get any more.
Okay. All right.
Well, speaking of your profession, Dr. Challenger, did you have any challenges entering that field?
Not when you say entering the field,
Veterinary
going to study or applying to the
Let's
the
take
university.
the whole spectrum of it.
Well, I was the first Christian that went to Wasp University. And so
Congrats.
being the first, thank you, being the first, it wasn't really that difficult. I mean, you're the first and you're qualified. So it wasn't difficult. As a matter of fact, the process wasn't even completed before I went. The dean just told me, the dentist at the time, Dr. Challenger, he just told me, Tracy, just come, and the paperwork will follow. And so I went.
Nice.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about some of the degrees that you would have attained?
Okay, so prior to becoming veterinarian, I went to the University of the West Indies, where I did a bachelor's, a double major, botany and zoology.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to vet school in 1996. And then after graduating, I landed the CVO's position, the highest position in the unit.
Nice.
As a youngster, 29 years old. And then after that, a couple years, maybe about 14 or 15 years after that, I decided in 2017 to do a master's in veterinary, One Health.
Nice.
So that's it.
Oh, quite an impressive track record.
And she's so humble with it. I like that. I love
And
that.
again,
Yes.
to preface, well, to speak to the next question, your humble beginnings, to see where you've ended up. I understand you came from very humble beginnings and you understand the importance of academics, especially at the tertiary level.
Yes. Well, I was the first of 5 siblings. And I was the one to set the pace. I knew that I had to be an example for my siblings. And so I studied very hard. And it didn't end there. I pushed my siblings also to study hard. So we all have achieved because of that.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
Nice. Let's talk about your ideologies. So a good name is better than silver or gold.
Yes. When you're in a profession like that, you're dealing with people, you're dealing with paperwork. Paperwork that once your signature goes on it, it has enormous responsibility and consequences if something goes wrong. So I always maintain that I would do things the right way, and I would follow the laws.
Good stuff.
And no one could sway me. Yes, and because of that, I haven't been too popular with certain areas, but at the end of the day, I know I did my job and I did it the right way.
Dr. Challenger, you've worked as Chief Veterinary Officer for over 2 decades.
Yes.
What have some of the lessons learned been for you? What are some of the lessons, rather, that you've learned during that time?
It's not an easy role. It was not an easy time. Balancing the work, your integrity, and the political side of it. Because sometimes we have to think about political implications. So I had to weigh all of that in certain situations. At the same time, self-preservation was also important.
Yes, as you mentioned.
Hey, when you are working
Yes.
within a certain culture,
Right.
you have to learn to
Navigate, yes.
smartly.
Smartly, yes, yes.
So in your role as Chief Veterinary Officer, you contributed and developed a few programs. Can you tell us about these programs that you would have developed?
Yes. As the CVO, I attended many workshops, many training workshops. And from each of these workshops, I took away something and I brought it back and I tried to implement what I learned. Because, in vet school, you're not taught the regulatory aspect, okay? Which is a large part of the role of a CVO. And so I went to Chile. I spent 2 weeks in Chile at a diagnostic laboratory.
Okay.
And there I absorbed everything. And I brought back the idea, and I wrote a proposal. This was one of the major achievements. I wrote a proposal to construct a veterinary diagnostic laboratory. Because for the past couple of years, we've been working, but we didn't have the diagnostic tool to give us the science-based information so we could make science-based decisions. So back then we had a zero tolerance. If we don't know, the answer is no. Now we're moving towards a science-based decision-making. So we're going to be doing testing. And so our decision will be based on, science. So it takes out a lot of arguments and conflicts because, you have the data there to show the client, right?
So the follow-up question to that would be, what does that mean for the client ultimately, that you've now adapted that scientific approach?
It means that we're opening up. So our clients are mainly importers. So a majority of them would want to import, let's say, meat from a certain country.
Okay.
But that country has a particular disease that we don't have and we don't want to hear. So now, rather than just saying no, we will say, okay, then the item can come. But upon arrival, we will do some testing to make sure that it's safe before it's released.
All right, so I get what you mean when you say it's not no anymore. It's maybe subject to testing.
Right.
All right, so there's also the tropical bontic and dermatophilisis, I hope I'm saying it right,
dermatophilosis.
Dermatophilosis, thank
Yes.
you, control program. Tell us about
Yes. Okay. Well, that was before my time. I contributed to the program, but it started before my time.
Okay.
This is a tick that was introduced, and it reaped havoc on our livestock because it's associated with a disease called dermatophilosis. It's a skin disease. And for some reason, in our situation, our animals were actually dying from the disease. Ordinarily, it shouldn't happen, but I guess because we had so much inbreeding, so the immune system of the animals was down, and so we suffered from it. We lost quite a few animals, and the population went down to like maybe 500 cattle, maybe 1,000 sheep, and so the government of the day really had to do something. And so that program was introduced. It was initiated regionally because we were not the only one that had the problem. Yes. So we were part of that program. And just to mention some of the hard work that preceded my time, every animal had to be tagged. They had to be treated. It was a lot of work. So I give kudos to the vets that were involved in that. I came in on a later stage because the disease would recur, like maybe we would have a problem maybe every five years or so. Okay. We'll have, especially when we run out of acaricide, which happened in 2018-19. Okay. Because on the international stage, you couldn't really get the acaricide, the beticol that we used to treat. And so that external factors really put us in a quandary where we lost 30% of our livestock from disease. Yeah. So I had to write a project again to intervene or intervention. Yes. Right? And that was submitted and it was approved. And so we had to do basically the same thing, but this time without the international support. And we were able to get it down to below 5%.
Good stuff, good stuff.
So we are good now.
Okay, good stuff. So congratulations on being the new ADA, so the Agricultural Development Advisor. Right. Congratulations on that. And do you think that vets get the recognition and appreciation that they should receive?
In our case, that's a tough one. I don't think we get enough recognition.
Okay.
No. And for me, because we have to do so much work, and you have to work. You're basically on call for 24 hours.
Wow, like a doctor.
Right. And treating an animal is not easy because the animal cannot speak to you.
Yes.
So you have to basically solve that puzzle, and it's going to be so much easier now to get in the diagnostic lab. And so I think if I could say, vets really should be paid more commensurate with those that are working in private sector, like work to university and different things. Because when you look at this comparative salary, it's 50%.
Oh, wow.